Hey, what's up everyone? It's Jess. Welcome back to my garden for another video. So today we're gonna be working my backyard. We're gonna be working on my side fence line bed here. As you can see, I've already started to lay out some cardboard. We are going to be sheet mulching today. But first, before we do that, I need to finish running the drip first. I wanna make sure I have everything that I've already planted set up on drip, and then we can go ahead, lay the cardboard out and mulch. But we are expecting rain in about an hour or so. Do y'all see these clouds rolling in? So I'm going to try to get done as much as I can today. If we don't get to the sheet mulching, we'll pick up when we can. But let's go ahead and at least get the drip down. So here's the area we are going to be working in today. So you guys did see I have recently planted 3 new trees in this area. I also tucked in 3 cute little hydrangeas in the back there. And off camera, I came in and popped in 2 purple fountain grass, which I'm so excited to see them put on their plumes. Before we start the drip, I do want to make a slight little modification. I do want to go ahead and move up my 3 drift roses here. Y'all see how much leaves they have put out since I planted them? We've gotten so much rain over the past couple days and we're expecting more, but I'm thinking I want to bump those a little bit more forward just to give that tree a little bit more room to grow out. It is a very slow growing spruce, but these are ground cover. So I actually want these to kind of almost sit exactly where those are, and then the ground cover can spread around them. So we're going to go ahead and move those first, and then we'll work on setting up the drip. Drift roses have been repositioned. I basically just moved them out a foot from where they were before, just to kind of even out this swoop a little bit more. They're more centrally spaced along my swoop, and that also gives my tree a little bit more space to grow as it slowly puts on its new growth. I did also reposition the all gold junipers. These again are a ground cover. I know they look like they're planted super close together, but these I'm hoping will eventually end up touching. The spread on each one of these is supposed to be 8 feet. So hopefully they'll spread 4 feet in all directions so that eventually this will all be a nice gold carpet. All right, so let's move on to drip next. Also, another update for y'all. If you all remember, I used to have 3 linebacker distilleum planted back here along my fence line. This is the last one that I have left. My friend did come and take 2 of them, so they have been transplanted at her house. So happy they have gone to a great home. And I actually have decided where I want this last one to go. So this will be relocating eventually, not in this video, but yesterday I came out here and just got to town pulling, y'all. This entire area used to be covered in creeping Charlie. It was also wound all up in this distilleum. So I literally just put my music on, got to town pulling, and this is where I stopped. So from this side over, all of this will become a formal planting bed eventually. I do need to come in and build this area up some more because, as you guys can see, my property slopes downward and I want to make sure that my gap under the fence is totally closed up. So I'm going to come in with some more fill dirt to build this up. We've just been dumping all of our grass clippings and extra stuff that we dig up out of holes over here to try and build this area up. So disregard all of this mess. What I want to focus on today is getting the drip ran all along the back fence line, get my distribution line hooked up, and then we're going to run drip to each of my individual trees and shrubs here to make sure they are good to go for this 80 to 90 degree weather we're expecting in the next couple of weeks. So let's go ahead and get to work. Got my drip tube on deck. This right here is my 1/2-inch poly drip tubing. This is going to be my distribution line. So this I'm going to run all along my back fence line to distribute the water to the beds. This one right here is the brown 1/2-inch drip tube. This one does have holes every 18 inches. So I'm going to wide this throughout the entire bed to make sure everything is evenly watered. And then we'll also be hooking up individual emitters to each one of my trees and shrubs. You can get either one of these from Home Depot or Lowe's or any hardware store. I'll have them linked down in my Amazon store if you're interested. Alrighty, so also off camera, I came in a couple days ago and got this entire area sheet mulched as well. This side of my backyard is already ran on drip, and you guys saw in my previous video when we hooked up my new hose reel on the other side of my house, I showed y'all how I set up the drip line. So if you're interested, I'll have that video linked in the description box. But we do have a black poly line that runs all along the back fence line. This one is a little bit short, so I think it stops right at my hydrangea. So I'm going to insert a coupler to continue it all the way down the back fence line, and then we'll hook up the brown poly tubing. All right, so I've gone ahead and ran the distribution line all along the back of my fence line. I did run it all the way up to my gate and left some slack just in case I want to run it underneath the gate. And then also I went ahead and added a T-coupler to add the brown poly emitter line. So now what I'm going to do is get this around all throughout the bed, and we'll hook up the individual emitters. By the way, just a disclaimer, I never really have a plan on how I run the drip throughout my bed. I know some people do an actual grid. I just kind of snake it through to make sure it's hitting everything. Also, I get a lot of questions on what I use to tack down my tubing. These are the landscape staples that I use. I'll have them linked in my Amazon store. Okay, y'all, so as you can see, it is raining now, but I finished just in time. I got all the drip line wound throughout the bed, so all I have left to do is come out and lay out the cardboard and mulch. Let me go in because it's starting to pour. Boy, when I tell y'all I had it in just in time, it is pouring. Whew. Good morning, y'all. So I am back. It is the next morning. We got a major downpour yesterday. It literally rained all night long until the wee hours of the morning. Everything is pretty saturated out here. All the cardboard is wet, which is totally fine. I need to go ahead and finish my drip, y'all. I think I mentioned to y'all, I told y'all a whole lot yesterday, but I was so thrown off by the rain. But I still need to go ahead and run all the individual drip emitters to all the plants. And then I also kind of want to add some of my quarter emitter drip tubing around some of my larger trees, especially the Bruce spruce. I want to make sure that one is going to get adequate water. We're expecting 90s next week. So let me turn the camera around and show you guys where I left off. So here's where I left off yesterday. I finished winding the drip throughout the bed. I know it looks kind of chaotic, but basically all I wanted to do was get the drip line close enough to each root ball so that I can come back in today and pop in the emitters to the root balls. And then for my magnolia in the back and then also my blue spruce here, I kind of wound the drip tube around it. This tree is going to grow over time, but I also think I want to add some quarter line tubing just to make sure it's getting plenty of water, y'all. I'm not taking no chances with this blue spruce. This is my baby this year. But let me show you guys where I started the line. So I did run a distribution line all along the back line of my fence, so I can always easily just tap into here once I decide what I want to plant here. I can just add in a T, run a line to whatever shrubs I decide to plant here. But I basically did the same thing here. Added a T to connect my brown poly tubing. It winds all throughout the bed. I know it doesn't look like it's adequate water, you guys. Just wanted to run the line close enough to each root ball so I can come in and just pop in an emitter directly to that root ball, pop an emitter directly to that root ball. This magnolia here, I think I'm going to add a ring just because if I add one emitter, I don't think it's going to be enough, you guys. So I am going to run probably a line of quarter around the root ball of this one. By the fountain grass here, I can just pop in an emitter and y'all get the idea. So when I step back, pretty much the drip just winds all throughout the bed. So I snaked it this way. It comes around in front of the hydrangeas, around the back side of the spruce. And then I ran it along the outer perimeter in front of my arbs here. And then it snakes back around, just kind of winds in a circle. So I wanted to make sure that I had a drip line on the front and the back side of each of my arbs here. And they will be getting individual emitters. So yeah, you guys, that is the basis of how I decided to run the lines. Let's go ahead and add the emitters, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get out here this evening before the rain to finish putting down all the cardboard. So yeah, you guys, that is pretty much the basis and the bones of how I wound my drip throughout this bed. Just wanted to get the line close enough to the plants so that I can go in and pop in my individual emitters. I will be using a combination of 1/2 gallon per hour, 1 gallon per hour, and 2 gallon per hour emitters. So I'm going to go ahead, set up the camera, get those popped in, and I'll kind of talk to you guys a little bit more about how you know which emitter to use.
Leaving this place, the sun's about to break. You're riding shotgun. The feeling we chase. I'm wide awake. Take me away now. 'Cause I won't go down the same old path again now. No, I've been running out of air, so let me catch my breath. Feeling I've got's making me crazy. If I'm having a good time, don't you blame me. Yeah, this feeling I've got's making me crazy, making me crazy. So I'm just gonna drive, drive, drive. I'm just gonna drive, drive, drive. I'm just gonna drive, drive.
All right, y'all, I got all the drip emitters ran. Let me turn the camera around and show you guys what I did. All the emitters have been added. Really quickly, let me explain what I added and why. This is more for my documentation, but I figured I'd share it with you guys as well. You might find it helpful. So for my arborvitae, my spruce, and my magnolia, those 3 trees are larger. So I added a 2-gallon per hour emitter to each one of those. For my magnolia and my spruce, I did also add a hoop of just quarter line drip tubing that does have emitters every, I think, 6 inches in it as well, just to add additional water to make sure those are getting exactly what they need. For my larger shrubs, my amber gold arborvitae in the back, my hydrangea quad here, so all 3 of these hydrangeas as well as the one in the back, and then my fire chief arborvitaes here, all of those got a 1-gallon per hour emitter. Ooh, I need to add 1 more to my tater tot arborvitae. Y'all don't let me forget that. And then for all of my smaller shrubs and lower growing plants, those got a 1/2-gallon per hour emitter. Oh no, except for my roses here. Roses I know like water, so I added a 1-gallon per hour on each one of those as well. So yeah, you guys, let me kind of explain the emitter situation because I get a lot of questions on that. So the type and size of emitter is going to depend on the type of plant that you're planting, the size of the root ball, and its overall water requirements. So the larger the plant, the more water it's going to need, obviously. So again, I have 1/2 gallon, 1 gallon, and 2 gallon per hour emitters. So these emitters are based on you running your drip line per hour. I never run my drip line for an hour. I get a lot of questions on how long do you run your drip. That is going to vary depending on the amount of plants that you have, the weather, the size of the plant that you're growing, what type of watering it requires. There's a lot of different factors that go into that, so it's impossible for me to answer that question for everybody. But typically, on a hot summer day, on a daily basis, I run my drip about 15 to 20 minutes, if that gives you guys an idea. Of course, if it's raining, I'm not going to water my plants with drip. So anywho, so to kind of explain emitters for you guys, this is a 1/2 gallon per hour emitter, which means if I run my drip, that plant is going to get a 1/2 gallon of water. So if I'm not running my drip for a full hour, obviously, y'all can do the math, it's not going to be getting a 1/2 gallon. So you guys have to kind of compensate for that difference if you're not running your drip line for an hour. So that is why I have upped some of my larger trees and shrubs to 2 gallon per hour, because they're not getting 2 gallons because I'm not running it for a full hour. So I hope that kind of helps for you all. Leave me a comment down below if you guys have any questions about the emitters and drip line. I'll be happy to help. I'm actually going to run in. I was doing this on my lunch break, so hopefully, fingers crossed, I can come out later this evening and finish sheet mulching. But at least the drip is done. Check that off the list. Hey y'all, so I am off work now. I just ran a few errands. I had to go pick up some pet food for my kitties, and of course, we went plant shopping. So I'm going to show you guys what I picked up, but really quickly, let me turn the camera around and show y'all what kind of weather we're working with. Do y'all see this skyline? Like, look at these clouds. It is loom and gloom. So according to the weather app, we are under tornado watch for 30 minutes. We literally just got 2 big gusts of winds and it was over, but now it is starting to sprinkle. So I'm going to turn the camera around and show you guys what I got, and hopefully this blows over. It says that we should be sunny in the next hour. So welcome to North Carolina weather. So I did make 2 plant stops on my outing today, and as you guys can see up front here, I have purchased 2 more clematis. Like, what? Who am I? I know, y'all. Like, I have been watching so many videos and doing so much research just to learn about these plants here. Like, look at this, y'all. So this one on the left, this is why I purchased this one. It still has a ton of buds that are going to open, and also the foliage looks really, really good on it. So this one on the left is called Boulevard Poseidon. Here's a look at the tag, and it has that striped bloom. Y'all know that I love the ones with the stripe down the middle. And then this one over here is a purple bloom. I'm glad it had 1 petal left. Let me see. I thought this one had some blooms on it. Maybe not. Yes, here we go. Look at these. Aren't they cute? They're lavender, and they have a slight little stripe down them, but I thought these 2 were going to be so pretty together. Let me see what this one is called. This one is Bernadine. So gorgeous. So I'm going to read up on these. I'm pretty sure they are both group 2s, but we shall see. But I'm going to do some pruning on this one. Literally, this is how the other 2 that I just showed you guys in my previous video looked. So I just came in and kind of cut off all of the dead, and I got blooms. So I don't know. Still learning about clematis. I think they're really like pretty blooms. I'm just trying to find varieties that will bloom more than once. Like I don't ones that just bloom in the spring and then I have nothing but foliage to look out through the rest of the season. I was laying in bed doing some scrolling this morning and I got super inspired. So I headed to my local garden center after work today just to see what I could find, and I saw they had these gorgeous Angelonia. Like look at this color, you guys. That is so pretty, and there's still buds on here that are going to continue to open. So let me show you guys the tag on this one. This one is called Angel Face Blue. It is by Proven Winners. They do take full sun. They grow about 18 to 30 inches. These are annual acceptance zones 10A to 11B. So I know exactly where I want these to go, and when we get to plant, I will pop up my inspiration picture on the screen for y'all, and y'all let me know if I executed. And then also, I had to pick up some more of this salvia, you guys. I have, I think, 4 on hand, and I love them so much that I had to get more, and I want to kind of add some color to my back curve. So I picked up 6 just to finish off the flat. You get a discount if you get a whole flat. So these are called Rockin' Fuchsia Salvia. These also take full to part sun. They grow 24 to 36 inches tall and wide, y'all. And look at these blooms. Look at that color. And the hummingbirds love these, you guys. So these are also annual acceptance zones 9A to 11B. So in some zones, these will come back. But y'all, I'm so excited to get these planted, but it is now full on rainstorm. So I will check back in with y'all whenever this rain decides to stop and we can get to planting. All right, y'all, sun is back out, as you guys can see. So let's go ahead and get to planting. I'm determined to get these plants in the ground. And we're back. So the sun is starting to set now, as you guys can see. Like, look at the sky, y'all. What clouds? Like, this is crazy. Again, welcome to North Carolina weather. Literally, it'll be loom and gloom for 5 minutes and then we're back in the sun. So anywho, it feels really nice out here. There's a nice breeze. It's about 70 degrees out here. So I want to try and get these plants in the ground today. We did just get a really big downpour. So everything is pretty wet and muddy. I've got my rain boots on, but I thought it'd be really fun until these plants start to put on some size and fill in, to pack in some annuals just to fill in some spaces and add some color to this area. So I do have on hand 10 of the Rockin' Fuchsia Salvia. So I'm not sure I'm going to put all of them in this bed because again, they get about 18 inches tall and wide, but I'm just going to kind of sprinkle them throughout the bed for pops of color. I think that'll be really fun. The pollinators will love it, and let's do it. All right, y'all. So I'm going to try my best to avoid the glares for you guys. But again, the sun is setting. See, do y'all see that? Anytime the sun is setting from this direction, it causes glare. So I do apologize in advance. But as you can see, I do have some bare areas here that I can pack in some salvia. So I'm just going to pretty much pop them in wherever, no rhyme or reason. Just going to do them real random and we'll get them in the ground. All right, so I actually ended up getting all 10 salvia planted in this bed. I did end up popping 2 more here in the back, and I'm so sorry for the angle, y'all. This is the best I can do to avoid the glares, but I just pretty much sprinkled them throughout the bed here, and I think they're going to fill in so gorgeous. I cannot wait to see this bed mulched. So unfortunately, I won't be able to get to sheet mulching today. We are running out of daylight, so I'll come in tomorrow morning and we'll pick up with laying the cardboard, sheet mulching, and I cannot wait to show y'all the final result. Really quickly, before we lose daylight, I want to go ahead and get those 4 Angelonia planted. So here's the area we're going to be working in. Do y'all remember I just did a whole makeover closing up the gap under my fence? And y'all, look at my sod. it has lushed up so green. It definitely needs to be cut, but when I tell y'all we have had rain for 6 days straight now, it is crazy. So this will get cut eventually. But what I want to do is pull out all of the kufia that I have planted down here. Originally when I planted this up with you guys, I had only put 2. I did go to Lowe's and I was able to get my hands on 2 more. So these 2 right here are proven winners. They are called lavender lace kufia. These right here I picked up from Lowe's clearance, and they were just labeled Mexican heather, which is their common name. But I'm thinking I want to go ahead and pop these out, put them in the pot where I pulled out my Dusty Miller, and I'm going to show you guys my new vision for this pot. All the Angelonia have been planted in the base, and I think they are going to be stunning, you guys. I will go ahead and pop up a picture of my inspiration pic for you all and let me know what you think. But I think it's going to be gorgeous underneath this topiary. They are leaning a little bit, you guys, because we've gotten so much rain. The pot has started to settle and it's leaning. So I need to come in and re-level the pot. But I'm loving it. I love it so, so much. So I did go ahead and pop in one of the Mexican heather down here, just for a little pop of color. I might pop the other one. Yeah, I think I want to go ahead and pop the other one here, and then I can do another one maybe over here. I think it's so cute. Let's go ahead and do it. All right, so to wrap up tonight's planting project, just want to show you guys, I did decide to go ahead and pop in all 4 of the kufia in this bed here. I dug out my begonia, and I decided to plant the begonia in my pot, just for uniformity, you guys. So I need to come in and just trim off all of the dead here. This is what was on them when they were in clearance, so I'll just cut that off so they can reflush out with some blooms. This one over here was in the worst condition, so I definitely did cut this back. It's still got some green on it, but y'all, look how well my foxtail ferns have done. I love their boldness in this area, and I think this bed is so, so pretty.